Колеги, доброго дня.
Colleagues, good morning. Sorry for the delay. We are going to start the briefing. Andriy Lysenko, speaker of the anti-terrorist operation, with information what's going on today in the east of Ukraine. Andriy, you have the floor, sir. Good morning, dear colleagues. Good afternoon, rather. The situation in the island of ATO is characterized by the aggravation of the military confrontation between the Russian terrorist formations and groupings and the Ukrainian units. The terrorists continue to move to the territory of Ukraine additional forces and accumulate the military equipment and ammunition. With the support of the active units of the Russian Federation, the rebels try till the midnight of 15th of February to resolve very important to them tactical tasks to increase the territories they control. First of all, the Baltsova route. This is evidenced and corroborated by the continuation of very severe battles near the Baltsova. The rebels shelled more than 16 times the position of the ATO forces using the Grad multi-rocket installations, artillery, and the mortar launchers. Ukrainian military rebuffed the terrorist attack in the near Chernuhin and Troitsky Mews. According to the information of ATO press center, over the last day and night, the terrorists lost almost 100 men plus 180 wounded. Owing to the vigilance of the Ukrainian artillery people, they successfully destroyed the anti-tank gun Panipa, which was installed by the rebels to shell the Shirokina village. Besides, our artillery men destroyed two mortars with the personnel of the rebels. Taking into consideration the considerable losses of terrorists, a new convoy, the so-called humanitarian convoy from the Russian Federation to Donbass, is planned to be delivered on February 15 using the air route instead of the motor vehicles. Over the last 24 hours, we fixed the flights of the adversary drones in Mariupol, Sartana, Talakovka, Sartana, Gnutova, Gnutana, Pavlopil, Sartana, Mirna, Mariupol, Gnutova, Yalta, Mariupol, Zarya, Granitna, Granitna, Zarya, Krylivka, Благодатна, Konstantinovka. As you can see, they concentrate their efforts, their activities in the southern direction. Yesterday at 9:35 a.m., the border guards registered the violation of the airspace by the helicopter which crossed the border and was deep into the territory of Ukraine for 3,000 meters at the altitude of 400 meters, after which this helicopter returned to Russia. Over the last 24 hours, we lost 7 Ukrainian servicemen, plus 23 others were wounded. The Russian rebels continued to terrorize the peaceful residents in Donetsk and Lugansk Oblasts. Yesterday, terrorists shelled the residential sector in the city of Artemivsk, Donetsk region, which is located more than 30 kilometers away from the confrontation line or contact line. As a result, 3 persons were killed, including the mother with a 7-year-old child. Several more persons, including children, were wounded. The shelling was conducted from the settlement Popasna, Lugansk Oblast. Because of the shelling of terrorists from the Grad multi-rocket launchers, 6 people were killed in the settlement Shastia. 5 more people were killed and 7 local residents were wounded in Gornyak as a result of the Russian rebels' fire. In Avdiivka, after artillery fire, terrorists they found the local woman dead. They never took the weapons in their arms. They were absolutely peaceful peoples, and they, for another time, again, terrorists violated Geneva Convention, which actually bans any kind of warfare or military actions against the civilian population. And Russian propaganda is active in spreading the lies, accuses Ukrainian military people in shelling the populated areas. This is done for the purpose in order to undermine the trust to the Ukrainian military people, and another accusation is that Ukraine allegedly does not observe the Minsk agreements. Also, the terrorists systematically destroyed the infrastructure of Donbass. As a result of the artillery shelling by rebels, they actually damaged the gas pipelines in Lugansk Oblast, in the city of Shastya, Kondrashevska Nova, and the settlements in Luganska. So now 5,000 subscribers and the users of the gas supply are deprived of the gas supply now. Also partially disconnected from the gas supply is the Popasna, Alexandropila, Luskutovka, and Chernuhina and Trokhizbenga. Terrorists, for another time, try to recreate new groupings to their forces. And now they actually they try to take the students and actually to put their the credits and the exams as has been passed. Those who are fighters in the illegal military formations, which actually corroborates that they intentionally use the physically, morally unprepared students against the Ukraine army. And the SBU of Ukraine destroys the pro-Russian rebels and subversive activities. They managed to eliminate the members of the banned group in Somalia, and among those were some of the nicknamed Gnome Dwarf, who unsuccessfully tried to attack Donetsk airport, but each time they were rebuffed by Ukrainian military. And also the group of those who corrected the fire and signaled the fire about the location of Ukrainian military. This group included the local residents who actually provided the foodstuff and the consumer goods to the Ukrainian military territory controlled by the Ukraine. Also, in the Kharkov area, this SBU of Ukraine, together with the law enforcement officers, destroyed the subversive group from the band of Moscow. Terrorists prepared the undermining of the military committee office and the gas trunk pipeline, which passes through the territory of this district. The detained persons of this bandit grouping, since the spring of last year, participated in the military activities and the fights, being part of the terroristic organization DLPR. And they were trained by Russian special services and secret services, and they have the experience of in diversion and diverse actions. Also, the Ukrainian forces eliminated 5 terrorist hiding places. The assistance is continues. They continue to provide assistance to the peaceful residents of the bordering with the frontline areas. Yesterday, 15 people were evacuated from the Svetlichno-Lugansky district, including 2 persons and 1 disabled person. Evacuation took place without any green corridor, under the continuous shelling on the part of terrorists. Also from Popasna, they evacuated 40 people, including 5 children. But those people who are still remain in the settlements of Avdiivsk and the Baltsova, on the daily basis, they deliver the humanitarian help and assistance. Yesterday, to Avdiivka from the International Committee of the Red Cross, they supplied the foodstuff and hygienic sets. Also, the drinking water, candles, and the roofing. To Dzержinsk, there is also daily based delivery of the potable water to Avdiivka, the Baltsova, and Vasilovka. They sent 20 generators for the power supply. Ukraine helps the residents of Donbass who suffer from the crimes of the pro-Russian rebels. Yesterday, the group of the civil military cooperation of the armed forces of Ukraine, they provided the humanitarian assistance to the Novoidarsko region general school. In Artemis, the first voluntary mobile hospital started to operate in Artemis. They're going to provide medical assistance to both military servicemen and the civil persons. They have all the necessary experts, therapeutics, anesthesiologists, surgeons, the vessel surgeon, traumatologists. Also, the hospital has the mobile X-ray installation, a mobile ultrasound diagnostic unit, and also necessary. Also, the first wave of mobilization is in the process. A detached brigade of communication have the replenishment of almost 800 military personnel who were mobilized today for the preparation and training to the training centers of the armed forces of Ukraine. They sent over 22,000 person, including 3,000 those who voluntarily came to be mobilized. The servicemen are provided with all the necessary equipment and clothing, and they are ready to defend their motherland. Speaking about the age, those who were mobilized include the people of 35 to 40 years of age as well. In the SNA training center, they have almost 5,000 mobilized per men under training now, according to 135 different military specialization. And they are going to be trained for 26 days. The international community supports Ukraine and doesn't have any illusions regarding who is aggressor in the military confrontation in Donbass. The leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Great Britain, the United States, and the President of the European Council and European Commission called all the parties involved in the conflict to observe and to adhere to the Minsk Agreement's provisions, starting from the hour of the ceasefire on 15th of February. And the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, actually proposed to the European Commission to prepare the additional sanctions which could be introduced against Russia. At the same time, the General Secretary of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, declared that the intelligence information of the alliance member states has the documented data about the military presence of Russia in the east of Ukraine. 2 days ago, we informed you about the crossing of the border between Ukraine and Russia by the Russian military equipment. And now, Jen Psaki, the Speaker of the State Department of the United States, announced that the United States will have the confirmation of this information. Petro Poroshenko, President of Ukraine, awarded the commander of the battalion of the 95th Detached Aeromobile Brigade, Major Igor Gerasimenko, and commander of the special detachment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Alexander Tripak, Colonel Alexander Tripak, with the Golden Stars of the Hero of Ukraine. And there were. I have a question, Lynn Matsutsky. I have kind of to ask you to specify. Do you have some additional information about the Debaltseve area? Where, yesterday there was information that it's very. Our boys have very, very hard times there, and what are the results of those severe fights there? And another question: can you confirm the information that in the near the Novozemsk, near Mariupol, the new military equipment from Russia appeared in that area? You mentioned the drones, but what's the situation in that area? Speaking about the Baltsovo area. As of this morning, our military personnel, Ukrainian military personnel, did not retreat a single meter from the positions they occupied yesterday, and they rebuffed several very powerful attacks on their positions. This is another example of the mass-scale heroism of our servicemen who, despite any, let's say, might or powerful attacks against them, they do not leave their positions, and they do that owing to their the mastership, I would say, and the maneuvers they undertake. They try to preserve their people alive and intact. I might say that more than 50% of those who actually are involved in defense there, they are not actually professional military guys. They are volunteers or those mobilized. They are tractorist operators or drivers of the street buses, and all those who are not indifferent to the fate of our country. Speaking about Mariupol area, in this section there is information about the crossing of the border by several tactical groups from our neighboring countries, and this is done in order to camouflage more massive movement because as you can imagine, the bigger convoys can be easily detected by the satellite equipment, any kind of observation equipment, so they kind of resort to this kind of small groups. In our unit, Azov and other military units, do almost impossible today. Once again, today we register the mass-scale heroism on the part of our Ukrainian military guys. They preserve the positions and do not retreat. Any other questions? Can you say what kind of fights are there near Shirokin and the Azov? Reported a lot of wounded persons are given. I cannot tell you, and I can tell you at this point of time because it's operational information, which we will get later. If there are no more questions, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Next briefing will be tomorrow at 12:30. Thank you.